Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from MRC Newsbusters, America's media watchdog. And from the time you listen to this video, the event that I'm going to describe happened probably a week ago. So it says, petty tyrants at Pulitzer say your criticism of press is un-American. This is from May 5th, from Cinco de Mayo. And so just figure that, the press says that you criticizing them is un-American. I can't imagine why they think we would want to criticize them. Can you? Let's get into it. It says, it's that time of the year again when the liberal media pats themselves on the back and gives themselves awards for being biased hacks in various categories, aka the Pulitzer Prizes. During Monday's announcement of the winners, Administrator Marjorie Miller droned on in monotone as she put the press's right to free speech above that of critics. She decried who had negative things to say about the press, suggesting it was un-American and an infringement on their free speech. No, it's because you guys lie all the time, and calling you out for just being a-holes and lying is not an infringement on your free speech. Maybe you should, I don't know, tell the truth. So it says, these are particularly difficult times for the media and the publishers of the United States, Miller proclaimed. Can you hear the violins playing in the background? It says, convinced that the media had a greater right to free speech than those who would level legitimate criticism against them, Miller bemoaned the legal harassment and attacks on their works and legitimacy. Again, I go back to, if you guys could tell the truth, there wouldn't be attacks on those things. Ultimately, proclaiming that using your free speech against the media was un-American. It says, atop years of severe financial pressures and layoffs, oh boo-hoo, amid the dangers of covering wars and natural disasters, journalists and writers now face additional threats in the form of legal harassment, the banning of books, and attacks on their work and legitimacy. Okay, so before we go to that next paragraph there, it says, of legal harassment. It's not harassment. If you guys are lying about things and you're defaming people, you're going to get your ass sued, and you deserve it, okay, as anybody else would that was doing the same thing. The banning of books, please explain where any books anywhere have been banned. I know the answer to this question, and it's not an answer that they want to admit. And then attacks on your work and legitimacy. Again, I'll say it for the third time in this video. If you guys could just tell the truth and not be partisan hacks, those attacks wouldn't be happening. Let's continue. It says these efforts are meant to silence criticism. I'm going to stop there again. Just say, well, it's meant. They're not meant to silence criticism. They're meant to point out to you guys that you're liars. That's what you do. That's the way the press is viewed now. Okay? That's what that is. So it says to edit or rewrite history, which is what they're doing. It says they're an attempt to erode the First Amendment of our Constitution. No, they're an attempt to get you to tell the freaking truth. This isn't a difficult thing to understand. It says which guarantees a free press and free speech. Well, the free press, no one said hey, you guys can just say whatever you want to all the time about anything and nobody's ever going to criticize you. I mean, these people think, like I said earlier in the article, these people think they're above criticism. They shouldn't be criticized. It's like, well, I'm sorry, but if anybody was doing as bad of a job as you guys have in the last decade, you'd be criticized for it. In fact, none of you would even have a job. Okay, so let's keep going here. It says, what you'll see in our journalism finalists and winners is courageous reporting and impactful storytelling from unbowed newsrooms, she boasted. Yeah, wait until you go see what they actually gave Pulitzer Prizes to, and then come back to that comment and says, courageous reporting and impactful storytelling from unbowed newsrooms. Just go do that. This is first off, the legal harassment she's talking about. Oh, I didn't realize. I haven't read this article, so I didn't realize the article is actually going to get into what that was. But it says she's talking about included the legitimate defamation claims made by private citizens like Navy veteran Zachary Young, who won his case with a jury finding CNN liable for malicious defamation, and Dr. Mahendra Amin, who settled his defamation case with MSNBC back in February after they erroneously claimed he was collecting uteruses from illegal immigrant women. Yes, I remember both those cases. Don't know a whole lot about them, but read enough to be once I saw the names, I was like, I know what those two cases are. So it says it was not legal harassment for Dr. Brian Morley to sue John Oliver for defamation after Oliver and his production team allegedly deceptively edited Morley's words and lied about the context of his sworn testimony in order to enrage the public about Iowa's Medicaid system. It says those cases were not legal harassment, as Miller huffed, but rather attempts by private citizens to hold the media accountable for their terrible and harmful reporting, done out an unearned sense of superiority and righteousness. It says, as for the winners of the prizes, where are some of the recipients who won for advancing liberal causes and hate mongering? Okay, so here you go. They're actually going to name some of the things that won. Okay, so tell me how partisan, or non-partisan, I should say they are. It says the Public Service Prize went to ProPublica, which is a very left-wing outlet, for urgent reporting about pregnant women who died after doctors delayed urgently needed care for fear of violating vague life-of-mother exceptions in states with strict abortion bans. It says the New Yorker's Mossab Abu Toha earned the Commentary Prize for essays on the physical and emotional carnage in Gaza that combine deep reporting with the intimacy of memoir to convey the Palestinian experience of more than a year and a half of war with Israel. Well, maybe those assholes shouldn't have started a war. I mean, I've made numerous videos about this conflict. I'm sorry, but you don't get to run up to somebody and punch them in the face, and then when those people start kicking the absolute crap out of you, just be like, oh my God, like, stop, please. Yeah, sorry. And I don't care about the Palestinian experience even slightly. It says former Washington Post editorial cartoonist Ann Telnaze was gifted the Illustrated Reporting and Commentary Prize for delivering piercing commentary on powerful people and institutions with deftness, creativity, and a fearlessness that led her to her departure from the news organization after 17 years. Okay, like why is she suddenly gone from the organization? Something else happened? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. Says the collective staff of the Wall Street Journal garnered the National Reporting Prize for chronicling political and personal shifts of the richest person in the world, Elon Musk, including his turn to conservative politics, his use of legal and illegal drugs. Okay, that sounds defamatory, and his private conversations with Russian President Vladimir Putin. I've never seen that reported anywhere before. So this is Media Research Center gives out our Bulldog Award to journalists who actually deserve prizes for their work. Yes, they do, and there were actual people who did stuff. So, I mean, that didn't quite go into what I thought it was going to. And by the way, that's the end of the article. But, yeah, it's even worse than that. But, yeah, so this lady right here, she deserves all your scorn. And it's like, it's kind of one of those things like, we're going to give prizes to ourselves for our own bias. And then if you call us on the floor about it, then we're just going to be like, well, you just shouldn't do that. So that's all I'm going to say about this. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.